You're watching The Buck Stops Here and I'm Barkhadat. On the program today, the verdict of Bihar and its consequences on national politics. That's our big story today. Polling has closed. The exit polls are in. This is an aggregate of 6 different exit polls and it is a photo finish if these polls and the aggregate is correct. An aggregate of 6 different exit polls gives the Mahagathbandhan of Nitish Kumar, Lalu Prasad Yadav and the Congress 118 seats. And according to this aggregate, the BJP is just 1 seat. The BJP plus, that is the NDA, is just 1 seat behind at 117, with 8 seats going to others. Now there's one poll, one of these 6 polls that actually predicts a very, very clear and distinct victory for the NDA, and that is the News 24 today's Chanakya poll. Today's Chanakya, of course, let's change to that please. Today's Chanakya is of course interesting because in 2014 it was the one pollster who got the margin of the BJP victory almost right. And here's what Chanakya is saying about the election, giving the NDA 155 seats. Remember, this is the only poll that is forecasting this margin of victory for the NDA. 155 for the NDA, 83 for the Mahagathbandhan, and 5 being picked up by the others. Now, what's interesting is if you remove Chanakya, and you do an aggregate of the other 5 polls, and we can go to the next graphic, without Chanakya, the aggregate looks somewhat different. By no means a gigantic leap for the Mahagathbandhan, but pretty comfortable, pretty clear. Without Chanakya, the aggregate of 5 polls is 125 for the Mahagathbandhan and 110 for the BJP, with 8 going to the others. And if you include Chanakya, as we showed you in the beginning of the program, that gap narrows down to a photo finish with 118 for Nitish plus and 117 for the NDA. All right, over the next 60 minutes, armed with these figures, we'll be looking at what a possible defeat or victory means for either side. Let's introduce our special panel today. With me in the studio from the BJP, we're joined by Seshadri Chari. From the Congress today, we're joined by Ashwini Kumar, its senior leader and former minister. Also with me in the studio is Siddharth Varadarajan, senior journalist and editor. Professor Shoaib Gupta, somebody who knows Bihar like the back of his hand. My own colleague, Rahul Srivastav. And of course, from the Janata Dal United, from Patna, we're joined by Ajay Alok. We're also going to cross over just a moment before we start with our panel to Chirag Paswan. Chirag Paswan, of course, the son of Ram Vilas Paswan, leader of the Lok Jan Shakti Party. Chirag, how do you look at the numbers of these 6 polls?
Barkaji, to be very honest, I mean, I didn't contest elections relying upon the opinion polls or exit polls. मैंने चुनाव अपनी बुद्धि, अपनी विवेक से, अपनी मेहनत से मैंने चुनाव लड़ा है. So I think I'll bank more upon the hard work that all the leaders of our alliance have put in this, and I think that clearly shows, because I think I've been to almost all the possible Vidhan Sabhas. I've campaigned for all our allies also. Our national president, Honorable Ram Vilas Paswan ji, did the same.
Yeah.
And I think बहुत करीबी रूप से मुझे जनता की नब्ज परखने का मौका मिला, and that gives me the confidence that NDA is leading on the majority of the seats, and we had this target of 185 plus, and I think we'll achieve the target.
But Chirag, if you break down these 6 polls, there are only 2 of these 6 polls that are actually giving a lead to the NDA. The other 4 are presenting an advantage for Nitish.
See, I mean, I can't react in 2 different manners simultaneously. The one who are favoring me, I'll say, yeah, these are the correct one, or the one who is not favoring me, I'll say that they're not the correct exit poll. Honestly speaking, as I just said, I mean, I didn't contest elections relying upon the exit polls or opinion polls. I have this belief, I have the faith in the hard work that our leaders have put in, and that gives me the confidence that, I mean, I think it's just a matter of 2 days more. On 8, the results will be out, and that will give us a clear victory. We'll form the government with a clear majority. I'm confident.
Do you accept that whatever the outcome, it is a prestige battle for the BJP, in particular for the Prime Minister, because there was no chief ministerial candidate? तो हार या जीत जो भी है, जो भी होता है, it is a prestige battle for Mr. Modi himself.
No, Varkaji, I don't think so that it's a prestige battle battle for our PM Saab. You know, I mean, even in previous also, if you see the election that we contested without projecting any CM candidate, you know, we have done fairly well, you know, whether it's Haryana, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, for that matter, even in Jammu Kashmir. So I don't think it's a prestigious issue for the PM Saab. We are happy that he's leading our alliance. That gives us a lot more confidence that we'll do well. But I think it's going to be all collective. If we do well, it's going to be a collective responsibility. Even just in case, I mean, I would hate to say this, but just in case, even if we don't perform that well, it's going to be a collective responsibility.
Do you think it was a mistake to not have a chief ministerial candidate and to make the Prime Minister front the campaign, allowing Nitish to say Bahari versus Bihari? You know, you have leaders like Shatrughan Sinha who even suggested your father, Ram Vilas Paswan, could have been named a chief ministerial candidate.
No, I don't think it's a mistake. You know, as I just said, I gave you a couple of examples. You know, there were a few other states in very recent past where we contested elections without declaring any CM candidate, and we did fairly well. And I think the democracy demands the same, that, you know, I mean, after the elections, when all our MLAs, you know, they should, I think, elect their leaders. So I think it's absolutely fine. I don't think it's going to affect in either ways.
There were some self-goals for the NDA in this campaign. Do you believe that General VK Singh's comments on the 2 Dalit children who died in very unfortunate and violent circumstances, do you believe that his comments on them, using a very misplaced metaphor of a dog, which he later clarified, do you think that those comments hurt you, hurt the alliance?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. I think as an ally partner also, I'll strongly condemn whatever the way Mr. VK Singh said those things that day. I think it's very important, not only during elections, but even otherwise also. I think it's important for the leaders to take care of how and what they say.
And do you believe that there was a political damage either from General VK Singh's comments or Mohan Bhagwat, the RSS chief's comments on quotas and reservations?
I don't really think this, Barkhaji. Honestly speaking, I think today our state, Bihar, it's one of the states where even after 68 years of independence, we are fighting for the basic necessities, you know. Basic infrastructure isn't intact in our state. So I don't think there can be any other issue besides development. I think development is the only agenda. Though Laluji tried hard to make reservation an issue, he tried hard to make Gaumas an issue, Nitish tried hard to make DNA an issue, land acquisition bill an issue. But I think at the end of the day, the people of Bihar, they voted only and only for development.
But do you think the BJP also made a mistake by making Gaumas an issue? You're saying Lalu Prasad made it an issue, but so did the BJP by referring to beef politics again and again.
I don't know whether it's a mistake or not, but honestly speaking, it just wasn't needed. That just wasn't needed.
In case there is a victory for the NDA, could we see Ram Vilas Paswan returning to the state, possibly your father?
I think our national president and my father, he himself has made his stand very, very clear that no one from our party is in the race for the CM candidate.
I want to come back just for a moment to, you know, you're saying that Lalu Prasad Yadav made Gaumas an issue. There were those controversial ads on the eve of polls. And if we can bring up that ad of a woman holding a calf and the BJP invoking Lalu's comments on Gaumas again, do you believe that that was correct?
As I just said, that's it just wasn't needed. I don't know why. I mean, I think people from BJP, they'll be in a better position to explain this, that why this was needed. As an ally, I don't think, as I just said, you know, our state, the only thing that we need today in our state is development and nothing else. There cannot be any other issue.
So you think these advertisements on protecting the cow were avoidable?
Just not needed, just not needed, just not needed.
Just not needed, just not needed. Chirag Paswan, thank you very much. You give us the cue to go back to our panel. Seshadri Chari, let me start with you. You heard Chirag Paswan there. On two things, a clear variance from the BJP, those ads and the perception that it should have been kept to Vikas, but it wasn't. This is your own ally, not the media, not the opposition. It brings us back to what was at the heart of this campaign and what the consequence of it will be, even ideologically, depending on a defeat or victory for the BJP.
You know, both the parties, both NDA and Nitish Kumar, independently they took on this route of development. because they both realized that the expectations are very high on the part of the people. And today people of Bihar, especially the youth, are very highly informed. The women voters are also very highly informed. So
Women have voted 6% higher than men.
certainly.
How do you see that?
I see it as a very positive impact on
For the BJP?
Yeah.
Because
Very
the conventional
positive.
perception is that because of Nitish's
No.
Cycles for Girls program in particular,
No,
there
the
is a
women-
fondness among women voters for him.
No, the women voters would have, I don't think they would have come out in such a numbers either for Lalu Prasad Yadav or for Nitish. Generally, this is the trend that we have seen during the election campaigns of Mrs. Indira Gandhi and especially I would mention Rajiv Gandhi. So that charismatic appeal of Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, that is the appeal that Narendra Modi has.
How do you see that last point that Chirag made on those ads and, you know, on beef politics as it's come to be called? Or
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, both the BJP and Nitish Kumar's campaign were on track as far as the election was concerned in the beginning. But slowly what happened when BJP started making, picking holes in Nitish Kumar's claim that he will provide a corruption-free administration and all that. How can you provide a corruption-free administration with someone like Lalu breathing down your neck?
But that is a corruption debate.
So the
How
moment
does
that happened,
how does identity politics
the
enter
moment
the
that
discourse?
happened, Nitish's campaign also got derailed, and therefore, as a reaction to what these people said about other things, then BJP also at a lower level had to change its course. But the BJP's central election
You're saying
machinery
Nitish's
did not
campaign
leave.
did this first.
No, Nitish campaign also went.
Give an example and then I'll take it to Ashwini and Ajay.
That's because when Nitish had to come to the rescue of Lalu Prasad Yadav. And Nitish's party, there are people within Nitish's
But that
party
doesn't
themselves
explain
who
why we were
feel.
seeing these ads on the eve of elections. But Ajay Alok, please respond to what you've heard Seshadri Chari saying, that everyone was on course talking about development and then it all changed in the last lap.
Well, Barkha, let me tell you, the very discourse of this election was started by Mr. Prime Minister on 25th July in Muzaffarpur by invoking Yaduvanshi. And yesterday it ended up by that cow ad.
Yes.
In between came Arakshan from Mohan Bhagwat, VK Singh Dalit came, then came religion-based Arakshan. First time the Prime Minister of this country from the dais spoke that Dalito Pichhdo ka Arakshan Cheen ke Musalmano ko dena chahte hain. I mean, stooping of all this kind of level happened in this election. Everything was talked except development, what they are claiming right now. Even Nitish Kumar on his many speeches, he said that if anybody wants to have a debate on development, even in the newspaper his statements came, please come and have a debate on development. But nobody came on debate of development. But rather ads were spread that we went slow on Yasin Bhatkal. All rubbish and all lies were spared like anything. And in the last it ended up with the cow. So where's the question of development? It was a venomous campaign led by the BJP and finally boomeranged on them only.
Okay,
They were scoring their goals in their own post. It's not we are blamed for.
Ashwini Kumar, what's at stake in this election? What's at stake? Is this just another state
Well,
election?
I'm glad. No, I'm glad you've answered the core. You've asked the core question, Barkha. This election, at the end of the day, will, in my view, mark the triumph of the secular, liberal, and inclusivist heritage of this country.
What if,
No
what
election
if
is
Nitish
ever
loses?
fought.
But what if Nitish loses? If
No.
we are going to make this a test
He
of
is not
secularism,
he
then
is-
what if Nitish loses?
He is not going to lose. And I'm telling you why I say so. No single election is ever a product or is driven by any one factor. Although every election has one major theme. And the major theme of the Bihar election was to give the electorate and voters a choice between a secular, liberal and inclusive India and Bihar, and a Bihar polarized by communal divisions, hostess to bigotry, and a complete variation and in negation of the Bihari ethos and culture.
Okay.
So when Mr. Nitish Kumar said the choice is between a Bahari and a Bihari,
Yes.
he was bang on. And you take it from me that this one particular ending riposte of Nitish Kumar will take the election to his camp.
Okay, I want to
But
just...
having said that,
Yeah.
I want to make just
Yeah.
one point.
Okay.
When you were interrogating Chirag, his one answer to your very incisive interrogation gave it all away. When you asked him, will Mr. Modi be considered responsible for defeat, he said no, which means that the NDA, the BJP, know it in their heart that this is an election they have lost, and lost for a good cause, for the cause of India, for the India of the dreams of our founding fathers, and for the India that we want to bequeath
Okay.
to the succeeding generation.
Okay, so Shadri Chari, quick response there, then I want my experts to come in. Yeah.
No, it's very
What-
sad. It's very sad that the Congress has to ride piggyback on Nitish Kumar, a national party of stature, coming down to this. But of course, that is their problem. I am not commenting on the Congress's problem in any case.
I think somebody's trying to say something.
That is their problem, of course. I said I am not.
Ajay, were you wanting to come in there? If we can have his mic faders up, please. Ajay.
I think the problem of the NDA is that they
Yeah.
have realized that the
I was
Congress is
saying
not
that he
going to
said
let
that-
the secular vote be divided.
Sorry, one at a time. Ashwini, you make your point first, then Ajay Alok.
Well, I was only saying in response to Sheshadri that we have ensured this time by making considerable sacrifices in Bihar that the secular vote in the
How
state
is it a
must
sacrifice,
not
Ashwini?
be divided.
You didn't have a chance. You didn't
I
have an
will tell
option.
you.
You didn't
no,
have an option.
No, I will tell you. I will tell you. We have a particular vote share. It is a lesser vote share than our allies. We never made the distribution of seats an issue, which we could have. There was a huge demand from within our party to try and fight elections on many seats to have a larger vote share. But we took a conscious decision that this election needed to be won. And to win this election,
But I must-
we did not
I must
have the
interrupt
vote
you.
divided.
But I must interrupt you to say in 2010, the figures are before me. The Congress had only 8.4% of the vote share, and this is 2010, well before there was a national anti-incumbency against the Congress. So Shadri Chari, go ahead and complete your point. Yeah.
No, so therefore, I mean, I am not commenting on the Congress at all.
Yeah.
Mr.
Let's
Ashwini
come
Kumar.
back to what you said.
yeah.
You said JDU
So, I
derailed the
think-
campaign first. And I asked you to give me an example, and you haven't given me an example.
No, you see, JDU could have continued with the same theme, even under great provocation. Let us believe that it was the BJP which wanted to vitiate the atmosphere.
Yes.
But what took JDU to make these kinds of comments? What has happened was,
Which kind of comment?
I mean, JDU went out and say that the campaign is going out of focus, and we are being brought into this reservation thing. I mean, they need not have said about all this reservation thing at all.
Shoaib, how do you see who did what right in this campaign and who did what wrong?
I think if I have to calibrate between these two figures,
Yes.
Narendra Modi and Nitish Kumar has been very consistent in showing the developmental track record of his government in the last 10 years. Secondly, Narendra Modi wanted to steal the thunder of Nitish Kumar.
Yes.
So, that is why they introduced the package,
The Bihar package.
Bihar package.
Yes.
But somehow after that they lost the plot.
In
And-
what way? Narendra Modi drew huge crowds, massive crowds. Seshadri Chari even believes the increase in women voters is good news for them.
No, one or two things. One, that because Nitish Kumar could demystify the package, so it appeared that the package is not that authentic as it seems to be. The additionality, there was only a couple of thousand crore, which was not a very big one. As far as women voters are concerned, I think there is some mistake. Mr. Chari was mentioning about that if you see the 2010 assembly election,
Yes.
even then the women voters
Were more than the men?
percentage rose.
Not
And
more
that-
than the men.
No, I mean it was higher than the previous one.
Yeah, but this time it's 6% more than the men.
Yeah.
So
No,
more women have voted than men.
No, even in
Yeah, of
2010, women voters
But
voted
who
more.
do you see that as an advantage for?
This is clearly advantage for Nitish Kumar, because Nitish Kumar created a women's constituency. Not only 50% reservations in the Panchayati Raj, but there are several things. I mean, cycle program.
Yeah.
He created a woman battalion. In this election, he announced 35% reservation for the state.
Now, Shaman, one of the things you were earlier pointing out to me was the one that you believe the BJP made a mistake in not declaring Sushil Modi as the chief ministerial candidate, because Sushil was part of the same government, and if there's a pro-incumbency feeling, then the BJP could have also claimed credit for it. Rahul, what happened? Why did we not see a chief ministerial candidate?
Barka, one, primarily because the BJP realized that Nitish Kumar has emerged something like what I think Shivraj Singh Chauhan was, very low anti-incumbency. And to challenge somebody who has been called at one time the B team of Nitish Kumar to be presented as a face would have been problematic.
Sushil was seen to be too close to Nitish.
And to have him to be backed by the BJP cadres would have been a difficult decision for the BJP. But what I disagree with Shaibal and a lot of people who have been talking on this BJP campaign, what everybody is talking about it as a mistake. I think there was an act of deliberate in it. Why do I say it? You see the first phase of campaign, the domination of forward class. Before that, there is the BJP talks development, and who actually likes to talk of development is the upper caste, upper class, which is largely the same thing in Bihar. Comes a second phase in which you have BJP struggling with the Bhagwat comment, because that second and third is dominated by backwards and scheduled caste. When they start, when Lalu and start BJP attacking BJP over the reservation issue, Modi is actually waiting. And suddenly when you come to the fourth and the fifth phase, Modi attacks them on reservation for Muslims. The cow ads come out, Pakistan celebrations come out. Why? Because this is the region where Muslims are dominant voters.
So you're saying that it's calibrated.
It's calibrated.
It is not that the development slogan wasn't working and therefore identity politics was embraced.
I think the days of BJP going for a single manifesto-driven campaign are over. They will break it down to phases. They will break down to segment, regions. And that's what this campaign has been all about.
So you don't see it as a sign of insecurity or nervousness?
Why didn't you have a cow ad much before? There was beef happening.
You want to come in then, Siddharth? Yeah.
One intervention.
It may succeed, it may fail, but
you're saying it was thought out.
It was thought.
I broadly agree with him, but one thing I would like to mention that BJP, while giving the slogan for development, they were doing systematic co-option of the backwards. That was very much there in the 2014 parliamentary election. That was very much there in the Bihar.
But you know what
Rahul
Rahul is challenging is the kind of media narrative that Siddharth, that as identity politics started creeping into the campaign in the last lap, it was a kind of sign of anxiety that Vikas wasn't working, so let's try this. What I'm hearing him actually argue is that every phase merited a different approach.
No. You see, there's no doubt that the BJP's tactic changed after phase 3. October 28th, the speech that the Prime Minister gave, where he essentially, in my view, sought to pit Muslims against Dalits and OBCs. Perhaps the first time that an Indian Prime Minister has so openly made, counterpose his own people against each other in this manner. I think it was a deliberate act. It represented a shift, and I think it was a response to feedback from the ground that all of us have heard, that the first 3 phases, whether they were fought to a strategy or not, did not go BJP's way. And I think there was a conscious effort to polarize after that. We've seen these ads.
But Seshadri Chari says, yes, it did lapse into this, but all sides were responsible.
No, but I mean, look at the factual basis. I mean, like the fact is that even Lalu Prasad's comment on beef, which was issued after Dadri, did not blame the BJP for it. Right? All he said was that, in a way, he was saying how stupid that this man was killed. Right? The BJP sees that as an opportunity, but it's not as if Lalu made the killing of Akhlaq a campaign issue. He didn't.
Seshadri Chari, let's come to this.
I mean, to say that the BJP, the moment BJP talks of cow, it's a campaign issue. If Lalu Yadav talks of cow, it is not a campaign issue. I don't think we can dissect the mind. We can dissect Lalu Prasad Yadav from such a secular
it's not an issue of secular. I'm saying
I think let us be very free on this. Neither of us are supporters of Lalu Yadav and his tactics and in politics.
Had Lalu raised the beef issue as a means of attacking the BJP, right? He didn't do that, right? All he said was that हिंदू
How
भी
do you
बीफ
know
खाता है,
Let's pick up
हिंदू
on
भी बीफ
another.
खाता
Now
है.
let's pick up on another example of Siddharth case.
Why bring the issue of beef into electoral
we-
politics at all
can
at
we-
that time?
can we
the
come-
whole idea of what I would, this is where the Congress also wanted, that the whole campaign that is taking place in the country should
Achha,
be
what
played
about
out
the
in
speech?
Bihar.
What about the speech? What about the speech?
should be played out in
Mr.
Bihar. That
Chari,
was the
Mr.
whole
Chari,
idea.
Mr. Chari, but that advertisement is also, and Prime Minister referring to Yaduvanshi is also an aspect of that beef politics card. Now, the other example he gives, about suggesting कि ये आपका कोटा लेके एक community को लेना चाहते हैं. He doesn't say Muslim, but the reference is obvious. How do we read that comment?
But this comment has been made by so many people even in earlier times, even when there was no election. This was the comment that TDP also made of all the places in
What comment?
Andhra Pradesh.
What comment?
That the reservation that
I
is
don't
meant for the,
understand this Barkha at all.
reservation meant for backwards cannot be diluted.
Amit Shah said
This
Barkha
issue has
on
come
the
up
very
at
second
different
day.
Okay, first Ajay Alok, then Ashwini.
Muslim.
First Ajay, go ahead.
Number one, this Muslim word was used by PM said, "ये आपसे ये आपका हक लेके दूसरे संप्रदाय को देना चाहते हैं."
सामुदायिक को,
Amit Shah on the first day said, "ये आपका हक लेके दूसरे संप्रदाय को देना चाहते हैं." And the second day, second rally, he said, "आपका ये हक लेके मुसलमानों को देना चाहते हैं." They were out and out to make this battle a communal, in which they failed. They tried desperately to do everything that somehow communal polarization should take place, but unfortunately, it didn't go their way. And that's why today they are desperate. This battle is lost
Who
for
is
them.
desperate?
And now
Who is
they have to
desperate?
ponder that they are still supporting reservation in some form or the other is going to cost them in other states.
Who is desperate? For example, we are not desperate. We are waiting for 8th.
Ashwini, I'll let you add a comment and then I'll come back to this reservation
Well,
issue
you
and
know,
how it's played out in Bihar. Yeah.
Barkha, I don't think really anybody needs to labor this point any further for the simple reason that while Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the chief campaigner for the NDA and the BJP, had said different things at different times, obviously on the basis of his judgment as to what will appeal to which set of voters. The central piece of the BJP strategy in this entire campaign was to polarize and communally divide the electorate. That is writ large in not one statement, in not one tactic, in not one strategy, but in a whole sequence of statements representing a particular mindset, representing a particular communication strategy, and representing an attempt to arouse a certain kind of an emotion so that the voters were divided on communal lines. It was clear that certain segments of the voters
But
had
Ashwini, you
made
were
up their
also
mind to
confronted-
vote
but
against
Ashwini,
the
you were also
BJP.
confronted by the Prime Minister with your own communal past in the form in 1984. So, you know, the fact of the matter is that we did see that Doob Maro comment, for example, from the Prime Minister, don't lecture us on tolerance. It has been a particularly volatile and in some cases venomous campaign. But Ajay Alok, just one question to Ajay Alok and then Mr. Chari, you can come in. Ajay Alok...
But did it, no, Barkha, did it behove the Prime Minister in the middle of a volatile election to bring back 1984 and again to rub salt into the wounds of the nation
I will put that
when
to
the
Mr.
nation was
Chari, but I have a
about
question
to heal its
I have a
wounds?
question for Ajay. Ajay Alok, the BJP's reverse argument is that parties like your play what they call vote bank politics. They say that you call us communal, but you're also communal. You're playing the Muslim card. You do want reservation on the basis of religion, and that is also a kind of sort of communal politics. This is their charge. How do you respond to that?
Number one, we have never in agenda a Muslim vote bank or a Hindu vote bank or any particular vote bank. In the last 10 years, what we have done work for every section. Now, I'll give you a very small example for that. The school dropout rate when we came to the power, it came down from 12.1% to 1.1%. And the maximum uneducation, if you see in Bihar, it was among the minorities, Mahadalit and Ati Pichras.
Yes.
If you say that we work for minorities and so their dropout rate has gone down, then fine. If you say that we are patronizing Muslims, okay, we are fine with it. Then what about Mahadalit and Ati Pichras? We are patronizing them also. As a government, we have worked for every section of the society. It's not like that our mindset is fixed that we have to work for this section and don't have to work for this section. We have to talk about this section and we don't have to talk about this section.
I now want to look ahead at what the consequences of this election would be. So, is it a do or die, a matter of survival literally for Nitish? If he loses after being reduced to 2 seats in 2014, how serious is that for him?
No, it will be a big setback. There is no doubt about it. But he will not be. He will not go into oblivion in case he loses. because he has still a big space to organize elections for the 2019 election, because still now nobody has been crystallized.
And Lalu?
Who can
And Lalu Prasad Yadav?
No, Lalu Prasad is there. Lalu Prasad is very much. You see, in one sense, Lalu and Nitish is a Siamese twin. I mean, if you see politically, there is no difference politically between Lalu and Nitish. Culturally, there is a difference is there. But I think this twin combination is going to play a very important role, whether they win or lose
But
in the 2019
you
election.
see, the real danger for Mr. Modi in the event of an NDA defeat is that Nitish then emerges as, I think that's what Shaibal is hinting at, Nitish then emerges as the all India rival to Mr. Modi. You see, if
Can he do that on the basis of one state?
Of course, I mean the fact he then
No,
becomes.
then Arvind Kejriwal could have been that, or Mamata Banerjee could be that, or
Delhi
Naveen
is
could
not
be
Bihar.
that.
Delhi is not Bihar. West Bengal. Mamata is not Nitish, right? So, I think you will find Nitish, and Nitish himself, perhaps one can see in some of his messaging, aspiring to be that magnet around which an alternative politics could be built.
They have a long
don't
history
think so.
of personal enmity, of personal friction.
I think victory or defeat, this election is not going to dent the image of Nitish in any way.
Not going to dent the image of Nitish.
Yeah, if he becomes the chief minister, well, there will be also a clamor around him. Others will try to gravitate around him. They will try to make him a big leader and all that. But I don't think Nitish would be ready to quit Bihar politics.
I want to get Ajay to respond to that, and Rahul can come in.
Politics.
One comment from Ajay. Ajay, does Nitish Kumar see this election as a stepping stone to the national stage?
See, Nitish Kumar does not see this as a stepping stone for the national stage. This election was very clear. We want to stop these forces, because you see the way things have changed in this country for the last 17 months. Today there is a seeming feeling that if you don't listen to us, we'll hit you. Whether it is in the institutions, whether it is in the organization, whether it is the functioning of the government, either you see they have attacked all the 4 pillars of democracy. May it be judiciary. Look at what they said to the NJAC. It's an act of tyranny of unelected. What they did to the media when Nitish Kumar was addressing press conference, they called media as Darbari. They don't let the parliament function. The similar thing is happening in the administration.
Okay.
So this government is trying to press this agenda, and if you don't listen to their agenda, they will act against you. This is the danger of this country, the situation this country is facing on. So this election is one message to everyone.
This kind of
that all anti-BJP forces will unite and come on a single
if you
platform
want
to
to
defeat them.
if you want to carry the Bihar election beyond Bihar even after 8th and then make it into a large national election, that's a different issue. But what I am saying is this can be the agenda set out for the next 4 or 5 years, but I am very sure Nitish is not going to be the leader of this agenda.
Now, I want to ask you something different. Why is this election so important to the BJP? One way is that they need to increase the numbers in the Rajya Sabha, but they have in a sense used the same strategy which didn't work for them in Delhi. That you make Modi the face of the campaign, not just Modi but even Amit Shah. He's sharing hoarding space with the Prime Minister. In other words, if it's a loss of face for Modi.
Yes.
And the other interesting question is that Nitish has actually queered the pitch a little bit for Sushil Modi, because in an interview to me he said that famous dinner that he was supposed to have cancelled, he said dinner ka idea bhi Sushil ka tha, cancellation bhi Sushil ka tha. So in a way Nitish has shrunk the space for Sushil Modi to actually emerge as somebody from his shadows.
You see, while BJP spends a lot of time in saying it is not going to hurt brand Modi, it's definitely going to impact brand Modi. What is Modi all about? Passing more bills to pass GST. If that's going to be stopped, it's not the same Prime Minister Modi. The electoral bluster. You see 2014 and that famous band Gaja Barat ke saath main NREGA ko implement karunga. Lot of things about Amit Shah. But fact is, if you
will
look
it
at...
change the equations within the BJP?
It will definitely.
Defeat.
The RSS and BJP,
or
if
a
you
possible
see,
victory.
Bhagwat is a very consultative kind of a Sar Sanchalak right now. The RSS will need more space then, because they have given everything to Modi and Amit Shah.
If
Modi,
there's a loss, RSS
if it's a loss, they will
more
be in
space.
trouble. Then again, if you see what Shaibal, I agree, is that Nitish Kumar is standing at a very interesting point. On 10th of June, when in 2013, when LK Advani resigned, he said it's going to be Modi versus the rest. If you see, this is the first election where it is actually Modi versus the rest. If Nitish wins, it will become proven that in Modi versus the rest, Modi can be defeated. And that's where Nitish will benefit, and that's where Modi
What
will
are the
lose.
ideological questions that the verdict of this election throws up? Is it this India narrative, as Ashwini Kumar argues?
Well, BJP, the way it fought the election at the end, right, and some of the messaging, you know, the PM's, the speech that I keep coming back to,
Yeah.
you know, if he wanted to say that you can't have reservation for Muslims, right, he should have said that the Gathbandhan is fooling you. Like he spoke as if in his audience consisted only of OBC and Dalits, as if there were no Muslim members listening to him, right? So the way in which the PM, he spoke that day was as if he represents one section, and it's very unfortunate. If the BJP wins, my fear is that this strategy will be seen as having been vindicated. If the BJP loses, as Rahul is saying, and the RSS then flexes its muscles, it's possible that they would continue to also want to go down that path.
Yeah.
So either way, it's problematic.
Okay, Ashwini Kumar, last comments only. Ashwini Kumar, last thoughts.
Well, 2 points, Barkha, and quick ones. You asked about who will emerge as the next pole of the secular combination in this country. That only time will tell, but let me tell you, based upon what is the ground reality, that a party which has a presence in every nook and corner of this country will probably emerge as the pole around which all secular forces will come together. Second, the Bihar election would be a triumph
So, Shah,
of a conscience of the
Ashwini ji,
country
why are you afraid of saying the
rooted in
Congress?
secularism.
Why are you afraid of saying Congress?
Thirdly, no, it is obvious
People will
Congress
think
is
it
the
is
only
BJP.
party. As a lawyer, I'm not used to reiterating the obvious. You are all people with sufficient intelligence. And the third point, the third lesson of this narrative is that Narendra Modi's appeal is on the wane, almost entirely destroyed because of the doings and undoings of the last 1.5 years.
30 seconds to Shraval and Shujat.
I just wanted to mention that there is no doubt that the authority of the central government will diminish in case they lose the election. But one thing I would like to mention about Nitish Kumar, that whether he loses this election or wins, he will be the rallying force in future because he has the articulation, his cognitive world is quite wide. Secondly, he has a incremental votes nationally. I don't think in recent period any leader of consequence who has individually incremental votes
Okay,
nationally.
Mr. Chari, national
As an
consequences.
individual, it's okay, but also
National consequences.
national consequences will be, even if Nitish has to emerge as a national leader. We have seen this, as you very rightly pointed out, in the case of UP, in the case of West Bengal, in the case of Tamil Nadu, for example. Even Jayalalitha wanted to stake her claim
What
to
are
be
the
the Prime
consequences
Minister.
for the BJP?
The consequences for BJP are not there. I mean, I don't think the BJP is going to have very great consequences as far as these election results are concerned. And I don't think even it's going to be a great election for Nitish Kumar. There will be another elections also after this. But Nitish, even otherwise, whether Bihar he wins or not, Nitish is considered to be an all India leader.
Okay.
That role, whether he wants to play or not, is left to him.
We will leave it there. Thank you to our panel. Taking a quick break. After that, Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi is also debating the consequences of the election. That's up in a moment from now. You're watching the Buck Stops here. We're debating the consequences of the Bihar verdict on national politics. Before we go to Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, let's take a look at what the poll of polls looks like. It's a photo finish. If the aggregate of this six different polls is correct, giving the Mahagathbandhan led by Nitish Kumar 118 seats, and just behind by 1 seat is the NDA, with just about 8 being picked up by others. How true are these polls? We should know by Sunday. नकवी साहब, आपका पहला बयान, ये जो स्टैटिस्टिक्स हैं हमारे सामने, एग्जिट पोल के रिजल्ट हैं, आप किस तरह से देखते हैं इनको?
देखिए, पहली बात तो एक बात प्रखा जी बहुत साफ है कि कोई जुगाड़ और जोड़ तोड़ की सरकार नहीं, बल्कि बिल्कुल स्पष्ट जनादेश की सरकार बनेगी। अभी 8 तारीख को रिजल्ट आने वाला है, एग्जिट पोल भी होंगे, सट्टे बाजार भी चलेंगे, उसका सब लोग एंजॉय करेंगे उसको। लेकिन हमारा जो मानना है कि सरकार बिल्कुल स्पष्ट जनादेश की होगी, कोई जुगाड़ कोई जोड़ तोड़ की गुंजाइश नहीं है, और हमें पूरा विश्वास है कि बीजेपी और एनडीए की सरकार बनेगी। जहां तक सवाल है, आपने कहा कि इसका पूरे देश की राजनीति पे असर पड़ेगा, पार्लियामेंट में असर पड़ेगा, जो बिल है कानून बनाने के
मतलब मैंने सवाल उठाया कि पढ़
सकता है। मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूं कि इसके, देखिए, लोकसभा के चुनाव के बाद 5 विधानसभाओं के चुनाव हुए और हम ज्यादातर में जीते, एक दिल्ली में हम हारे। तो कोई भी चुनाव जो है वो मोदी सरकार के लिए रेफरेंडम नहीं था, कोई उनके जनमत संग्रह नहीं था। इसलिए जो है वो बिहार का चुनाव भी जो है वो मोदी सरकार के लिए जनमत संग्रह नहीं है, कोई रेफरेंडम नहीं है। और हम पूरी मजबूती के साथ, एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है, एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है, तो हम पूरी मजबूती के साथ चुनाव के मैदान में जाते हैं और चुनाव के मैदान में हम इस संकल्प के साथ जाते हैं कि हम चुनाव जीतेंगे। और हमें पूरा यकीन है कि हम 8 तारीख को वहां पर पूरी तरह से बहुत कंफर्टेबल तरीके से हम सरकार बनाने में सफल होंगे।
नकवी साहब, आप माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स पोर्टफोलियो को भी संभालते हैं। यहाँ पर एक परसेप्शन है कि जो फाइनल लैप था कैंपेन का, उसमें खास करके एक कम्युनल एलिमेंट लाया गया बीजेपी की तरफ से, चाहे वो एडवर्टाइजमेंट हो जिसपे अब इलेक्शन कमीशन ने रोक लगाई है, बीफ पॉलिटिक्स की मुद्दे पे हो, चाहे वो ये एक सजेशन हो कि ओबीसी से लेकर कोटा मुसलमान को देने की कोशिश की जा रही है नीतीश कुमार और लालू प्रसाद यादव की तरफ से, चाहे पाकिस्तान का जिक्र जो अमित शाह ने किया। तो एज अ माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर, हाउ डू यू सी दिस?
देखिए, पहली बात यह है कि हम एक बात बहुत साफ कहना चाहते हैं कि कहीं पर भी इंटॉलरेंस हो, कहीं पर असहिष्णुता हो, कहीं पर किसी तरह का कम्युनल टेंशन हो, वो बिल्कुल कतई देश के लिए ठीक नहीं है। लेकिन ये जो कुछ अभी इस इलेक्शन के दौरान आपको दिखाई पड़ा, उसे हम मानते हैं कि ये कुछ फ्रस्ट्रेटेड फ्यूडल मेंटेलिटी का एक फैब्रिकेटेड फसाद था। और वो फसाद इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि देखिए, इस बीच में कई त्योहार आए, दशहरा भी आया, मुहर्रम भी आया, ईद भी आई, बकरीद भी आए और कई त्योहार आए। और सबसे बड़ा त्योहार तो चुनाव का होता है जो बिहार में चल रहा था। किसी भी जगह पर बिहार में इन चुनावों के दौरान कहीं कम्युनल टेंशन हुआ क्या जो है वो दशहरे का जो है वो दशहरा भी का चौकियां भी निकल रही थी, मुहर्रम के जुलूस भी निकल रहे थे, क्या देश की किसी हिस्से में कोई कम्युनल टेंशन हुआ क्या? तो ये जो फैब्रिकेटेड फसाद था कि साहब इंटॉलरेंस हो गया है, ये पूरी तरह से कहीं ना कहीं पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड था, किसी तरह से राजनीतिक कारणों से था। इसके अलावा हमारा अभी मानना है कि ये जो देश के डीएनए में जो है वो टॉलरेंस भरा हुआ है। देश का डीएनए जो है पूरी तरह से सहिष्णुता का डीएनए है।
गिरिराज सिंह, आपके आदित्यनाथ, वो मनोज तिवारी, वो शाहरुख खान तक पर इल्जाम लगा रहे हैं पाकिस्तान चले जाइए। तो ये सवाल तो उठते हैं ना बीजेपी के लिए।
अच्छा, आप ये देखिए, आपने 1-2 नाम लिए और बहुत से नाम लिए जा सकते हैं, बहुत सी जगहों से नाम आए हैं। हमारा ये कहना है कि क्या इसका इम्पैक्ट, क्या इसका असर देश के लोगों पे पड़ा? क्या देश के लोगों ने उसे एक्सेप्ट किया? देश के लोगों ने उस भावना को, उस बात को रिजेक्ट किया? तो इसलिए इस बात को हमें समझना चाहिए कि इसको देश के साथ मत जोड़िए। अगर कुछ आइसोलेटेड वॉइसेस हैं, कुछ अगर ऐसी आवाजें हैं जो आवाजें की नहीं होनी चाहिए, तो उसे देश नहीं, उसे देश की आवाज के रूप में कैसे आप कह सकते हैं? जब ये कहा जाता है कि देश में इंटॉलरेंस हो गया है, देश असहिष्णु हो गया है, देश में जो है वो पूरी तरह से हाहाकार मचा है, तो मुझे लगता है वो ठीक नहीं है।
लेट्स कम बैक नकवी साहब, पवन वर्मा है, आपसे एक सवाल रखना चाहते हैं। पवन जी बोलिए।
मुख्तार भाई से पूछना चाहता हूं कि मुख्तार भाई सच बताइए, आप शर्मनाक होंगे जरूर जिस तरह से विकास के मुद्दे को छोड़कर बिहार में बीजेपी ने धार्मिक ध्रुवीकरण को एक हथियार बनाया। आप खुद भी, जब आपने सुना होगा कि अमित शाह कह रहे हैं कि अगर बीजेपी की हार हुई तो पाकिस्तान में पटाखे बजेंगे, ये कोई छोटी मोटी बात है? और आपके पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष की एक लोकतांत्रिक चुनाव देश के अंदर हो रहा है और उन्होंने इस पर यह बयान दे दिया। I want to ask the viewers, is this kind of statement not meant to stoke religious hatred and divide society on the basis of polarization?
Okay, let him respond. Naqvi साहब, please respond.
पवन वर्मा जी, चुनाव खत्म हो चुका है, तू मैं भी खत्म हो चुकी है, और चुनाव में जो जनता ने जो भी अपने वोटों का इस्तेमाल किया होगा वो ईवीएम की मशीनों में बंद हो चुका है। इसलिए अभी कम से कम जो है हमें सच्चाई के साथ सोचना चाहिए, आत्मचिंतन करना चाहिए कि हम देश की राजनीति को किस रास्ते पे ले जाना चाहते हैं। अब आप जो है वो हमारे नेताओं पे आरोप लगाएंगे, हम आपके नेताओं पे के बारे में बता सकते हैं कि उन्होंने लालू प्रसाद यादव जी ने क्यों कहा, ये उन्होंने क्यों कहा, इन्होंने क्यों कहा, ये सब तो तू मैं ये तू मैं हो चुका। ये आत्मचिंतन आपको करना पड़ेगा। आपको अगर ये लगता है कि आपने जो है वो मुद्दों को भटका करके और इश्यूज को डाइवर्ट करके कोई बहुत बड़ा तीर मारा है, तो हमें लगता है कि वो आपको जो है वो सोचना चाहिए और समझना चाहिए। हमने हमेशा डेवलपमेंट के इशू पे बात करी।
नकवी साहब, शोएबल गुप्ता यहाँ हैं, इनका एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल था। ये कह रहे थे कि सुशील मोदी को अगर आप एक तरह से चीफ मिनिस्टरियल कैंडिडेट बना देते तो यू कुड हैव आल्सो क्लेम्ड क्रेडिट, जो आज एक तरह से नो वन इज एंग्री विद नीतीश, माना जाता है कि काम उन्होंने अच्छा किया। तो व्हाई डिड द बीजेपी नॉट डिक्लेयर अ चीफ मिनिस्टरियल कैंडिडेट? अगर आप सुशील मोदी को ही नेम कर देते तो यू वुड हैव गॉट अ स्लाइस ऑफ द क्रेडिट।
देखिए, अभी जो जितने भी चुनाव हुए लोकसभा के चुनाव के बाद, हमने कहीं पर भी चीफ मिनिस्टर प्रोजेक्ट नहीं किया। महाराष्ट्र में चुनाव हुआ, हरियाणा में चुनाव हुआ जहां हमने जीता, झारखंड में चुनाव हुआ जहां हमने जीता। तो इसलिए जो है वो हमारी अपनी स्ट्रेटेजी है, पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रेटेजी। हम कहीं पे घोषित करके लड़ते हैं, कहीं पे घोषित करके नहीं लड़ते
जी।
और उसको हम उसका जो है वो जो राजनीतिक जमीन का आकलन है उसको करके हम तय करते हैं।
जी जी, शोएबल गुप्ता, आप कुछ नकवी साहब से सवाल पूछना चाहेंगे?
अभी तक जहां भी इलेक्शंस हुआ है बिहार के अलावे, वहां आपके पास कोई क्रेडिटेबल फेस नहीं था, नंबर 1। नंबर 2 पॉइंट कि बिहार का जो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड ऑफ डेवलपमेंट है, इवन एनडीए के साथ नीतीश कुमार का, वो काफ़ी एनविएबल था। उस परिप्रेक्ष्य में जो डेवलपमेंट का क्रेडिट जो बीजेपी ले सकती थी, सुशील कुमार मोदी को फ्रंट में रख करके वो नहीं लिया, नंबर 1। ये कहीं कहीं शक लगता है कि चूंकि आप लोग बिहार का बीजेपी का अचीवमेंट को हाईलाइट इसलिए नहीं किए कि कहीं ना कहीं शायद सुशील मोदी को लार्जर देन लाइफ इमेज बन जाता और इसको दूसरा लोग लाइक नहीं करते, क्योंकि सुशील मोदी ऐसा फेस कहीं भी किसी भी स्टेट्स में दूसरी जगह नहीं।
प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड।
देखिए, पहली बात ये गुप्ता जी, सुशील मोदी जी हमेशा फ्रंट पे थे, फ्रंट पे हैं, फ्रंट पे रहेंगे। वो हमारे वहां के सबसे बड़े एक्सेप्टेबल लीडर हैं और उसमें कहीं कोई वो नहीं। पूरे चुनाव में वो कैंपेन कर रहे थे, पूरे चुनाव में हर जगह पर वो गए, सभी सीटों पर उनका लगभग सभाएं हुई। तो इसलिए जो है वो ये कहना कि साहब आपने उनको प्रोजेक्ट किया होता तो ऐसा होता, इनको प्रोजेक्ट किया, ये सब आकलन जो है जब चुनाव हो जाते हैं तो हमने कहा ना, चुनाव के बाद जो है एग्जिट पोल चलेगा, सट्टा बाजार चलेगा, फिर ये चलेगा कि ये नेता ऐसे होते, ये नेता यहाँ जाते, वो चलता रहेगा, उसमें कोई वो नहीं है।
अच्छा नकवी साहब, one last question, Siddharth Vardarajan. Pawan, 1 minute. Siddharth Vardarajan, a question for Naqvi साहब, and then we have to slip into a break. Siddharth.
नकवी साहब, माना कि मोहन भागवत जी के बयान से बीजेपी को नुकसान पहुंचा, थोड़ा बहुत या ज्यादा, लेकिन क्या ये जरूरी था कि अपने सफाए में बीजेपी ने जिस तरह से मुसलमानों को निशाना बनाया, आप ये कह देते कि भाई आरक्षण हटाने का कोई इरादा नहीं है हमारा और आप अपना सफाया दे दे, लेकिन मुसलमानों को बीच में क्यों घसीटा आपने? प्रधानमंत्री ने, आपने इश्तिहार में भी उनका जिक्र किया और आखिरकार चुनाव आयोग ने आपको टोका।
नकवी साहब,
मैं एक बात सिद्धार्थ जी आपको हम बताएं। पहली बात तो इस गलतफहमी को सबको निकाल देना चाहिए कि मोहन भागवत जी ने जो आरक्षण के बारे में चर्चा करने की बात की कि आरक्षण के बारे में एक बार चर्चा फिर से नए सिरे से होनी चाहिए, उसका कहीं पर भी बिहार के चुनाव में कोई नुकसान हुआ। जहां तक प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने जो कहा वो बिल्कुल साफ बात है। अगर आप देखें तो कोई भी जब चुनाव आता है तो ये मजहब के नाम पर, धर्म के नाम पर आरक्षण की बात करते हैं, कहते हैं 8% हम देंगे, 10% देंगे, यूपी हो, बिहार हो, महाराष्ट्र हो, कर्नाटक हो या आंध्रा हो या तेलंगाना हो, ये नहीं। और जब ये कहते हैं उसके बाद दूसरे तीसरे दिन कोई कोर्ट जो है उस पर स्टे लगा देता है, क्योंकि उन्हें मालूम है कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ये परमिटेड है नहीं कि धर्म के आधार पर आरक्षण हो। इस बात को प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा, इसमें कहा मुसलमान और कहा हिंदू और कहां पर सांप्रदायिकता और कहां पे धर्मनिरपेक्षता आ गई।
नकवी साहब, वेरी ब्रीफली,
आरक्षण छीनने और लूटने की बात की गई।
मेरा एक आखिरी सवाल, वुड यू एक्सेप्ट कि अगर डिफीट होती है नकवी साहब, इट इज अ प्रेस्टीज बैटल फॉर द प्राइम मिनिस्टर हिमसेल्फ, क्योंकि ही वाज द मेन फेस ऑफ द कैंपेन। Would you accept that? अगर हार होती है, अगर जीत होती है, you can obviously claim the opposite.
अच्छा बरखा जी, ये बताइए हम मेन फेस क्या सोनिया जी को बना के वहां पर चुनाव प्रचार कराते क्या, या किसी और को बनाते क्या? हमारे मेन फेस हमारे लीडर नरेंद्र मोदी, हमारे लीडर नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं, और हमारे लीडर नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं, इसलिए वो हर चुनाव में जहां पार्टी उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करेगी वो जाएंगे। ये जो है वो एक स्वाभाविक बात है। अब इसमें जो है वो कहीं पर हार होगी, कहीं जीत होती है, तो उसमें प्रधानमंत्री जी कभी क्रेडिट नहीं लेते, वो कार्यकर्ताओं को क्रेडिट देते हैं और वहां की जनता को क्रेडिट देते हैं। यहाँ पर भी हमारी जब जीत हो रही है तो हम उस जीत का क्रेडिट बिहार की जनता को देने जा रहे हैं।
पवन,
Barkha, very quickly I am telling you that Mukhtar Bhai is saying it's not a referendum because the BJP is definitively losing. Otherwise, they did everything possible to make this a prestige
पवन
fight
जी,
of Mr. Narendra Modi
क्यों
versus
मुंगेरी
Nitish
लाल की
Kumar.
हसीन सपने 2 दिन के लिए
मुख्तार
देख रहे
भाई
हैं।
मान जाइए, हर पोस्टर पे नरेंद्र मोदी, 30 रैली नरेंद्र मोदी, कोई और लोकल लीडर
अच्छा तो हम क्या करें, लालू यादव जी और नीतीश कुमार जी का फोटो अपने पोस्टर में लगा दे?
बताइए मुझे,
नहीं क्या करें, हम क्या करें बताइए?
Pavan, the election is over. I think that
किसका लगाया बोलिए ना हमें, आप बताइए ना कि सोनिया जी का लगा दें, कि लालू जी का लगा दें, कि नीतीश कुमार जी का लगा दें, कि पवन वर्मा का लगा दें, किसका लगाया आप बताइए ना हमको,
मुख्तार
कि किसका लगाए भाई हमको।
चले, थैंक यू नकवी साहब।